On demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Welcome to your Wednesday Loose Women, and giving their take on the topics of the day, alongside me, Jane Moore, it's Judy Love, with rather sore feet. More of that later. Janet Street Porter and Kelly Bryan. Now, coming up, it's the big interview that everyone is talking about. Former ISIS bride Shamima Begum has asked for forgiveness from the British public. Janet says she does forgive Shamima, but Kelly isn't so sure. We'll be debating that in a few minutes. And at 1 o'clock...
Do you know what, Charlie? I'd even pay you money if it meant that I never saw you again. I've got one for you.
She found fame as Rover's landlady Shelley in Corrie and went on to become a loose woman. Actress Sally Lindsay is back on the show for the first time in 7 years. And she's telling us why she's about to embark on a challenge her late gran would be proud of. And do women feel empowered by male strippers? As the Dream Boys report record ticket sales, would you celebrate the end of a marriage with a trip to a strip show? So, right. Jude, you look amazing.
Oh, thanks, babes.
I am loving the hair. Talk us through it.
Well, you know what? You know I always have my natural hair and sometimes I wear a wig and usually just to protect my hair. But it is World Afro Day today. Look, there's me with all my different styles. But today I am rocking my natural hair, which I do a lot anyway, but I wanted to rock it today and represent because it's a celebration of Afro hair. You know, there's been a lot of discrimination regards Afro hair, feeling that it's not neat, it's not smart, it's not beautiful, but it's all of those things in one. And I'm so blessed to have natural Afro hair because I can change it up when I want to, and when I want to, I can just be my fabulous natural self. So
it looks gorgeous.
That's what we're celebrating today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. I mean, today I'm wearing my natural hair, which is wonderful, and I know that lots of people have gone through different things like hair loss and stuff like that. But it's really important, I think, to celebrate Afro hair because, I mean, even me just recently with Regan at school, he wanted to wear braid, like his hair in cornrows, going back to school, and I was like, oh, son, I'm not really sure on what the protocol is. I still even have to ask that question today, whether it's seen as acceptable for him to wear his hair in cornrows. But I think it's just we've got to try and, oh, bless him, change that. I mean, it's neat, it's tidy, it's presentable, so I don't see the issue with him wearing it at all. Fortunately, the school's been absolutely brilliant, no problem at all. And so that's, for me, is a sign of change, which is why days like today is really
We just have to keep having the conversation.
Exactly. And I mean, who doesn't... You know, don't run your fingers through it without asking me, though. But still...
There's a lot of static coming off you.
You look gorgeous, both of you.
Babe.
And you, Janet, obviously.
You all do.
Now then, the Prime Minister has unveiled his plan to get us through a second winter with COVID. And although it currently isn't in the government's plan A or B, they've refused to rule out another lockdown, saying they would do whatever necessary to prevent the NHS from becoming overwhelmed. So, Janet, how would you feel about the prospect of another lockdown?
I dread it. I mean, I might look on the outside tough as old boots, but inside it's not something I can actually contemplate. I'm feeling completely trapped. I want my gorgeous hometown of London to come back to life. I want people to go back to work and stop hiding away at home. I get really mad when I go on London transport and I see that a whole load of people are refusing to wear masks, like they're special people, the chosen ones, where the rest of us are all, you know, sweating away under our masks. So what I feel about these guidelines and the plans is, well, there isn't a plan, because there's a plan A, there's a plan B, and then there's a plan C. So is the plan C the threat of the lockdown? And within these guidelines, which are supposed, you know, plan A is supposed to stop the NHS being overwhelmed. But the reason why the NHS might be overwhelmed is they're 50,000 doctors short.
Wow.
And they're at least 50,000 nurses short. And if the government offer them a pitiful pay rise which they clearly found unacceptable, and we've heard the cost of living has gone up by an epic amount, they're not exactly going to be recruiting enough people to stop the NHS being overwhelmed. So I'm not happy about all of this. And also, I think all around the country, the mayor in London's got one set of rules, the mayor in Manchester's got another, Nicola Sturgeon's got her rules north of the border, and in Wales, Mark Drakeford's got his rules.
I think that is the key issue. It's very confusing,
and they're all guidelines, aren't they? They're not law or they're not rules.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it is confusing, but I think the restrictions shouldn't have been removed in the first place. It's not like we woke up yesterday and we just all of a sudden discovered that COVID doesn't exist. COVID hasn't gone anywhere. Yes, we found new measures and new ways of tackling it, reducing the amount of people that are testing positive, but at the same time, it hasn't gone anywhere. And I don't think lockdown is the answer, just because of the pressures that happen on people's
But we've got the vaccine, haven't we?
Yes,
so
the vaccine is there, but it's
like
not
if we've got the
mandatory, is it?
vaccine, are you saying then that even though we have the vaccine, we're going to have to stay in masks for the rest of our born days?
No, I'm not. But at the moment, we can see that the numbers are not under control, is it? It's not under control. We've got threats of going into another lockdown. So clearly, what we're doing now isn't working. I didn't think it ever would. Me, personally, I haven't changed. I still wear a mask. I still wear my visor. I'm still really cautious and I'm still really careful, and I'm double jabbed. But it hasn't changed my behaviour. I don't think we should have changed our behaviour.
I want to ask you about things like football matches. There is a double standard. I mean, double standard here. Suddenly, football, everybody can go in.
Agreed.
Not wear a mask.
Agreed, 100%.
Judy, where are you on this?
I feel like, did we expect anything more? Why are we expecting anything more or less from our government? At the end of the day, it's very confusing. The rules have been confusing, the lockdown has been confusing, and I feel any time a statement has been made from the government, I think we should really be aware that possibly a lockdown is something that's going to be in the future or near future. For me personally, I would not want another lockdown. I think there's been a pandemic of mental health. I'm worried for, like you said, Janet, the people that seem hard on exterior, but inside we're suffering, you know, the loss of lives and seeing people and socialising. Obviously, the risk is about taking less risks so that we're more safe. But I think it's more about the fact that we feel like we don't know what we're doing. When I went to Jamaica to bury my dad, you know, obviously I went by the guidelines, but one thing I could say is, you know, I travelled with my friend and she came off and she had the exemption for her mask, and as soon as we stepped on the soil, the woman was like, you need to put your mask on. She was like, I'm exempt. She said, you might be exempt in England, but you're not exempt here. Put your mask on. And it was very clear, 10 to 7, it was locked down. There was no, like, hesitation or should I or what I should do. And I think if we had that much more clear perspective on what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it, we would ease with whatever decision the government would make with much more harm.
Yeah, interesting. It's going to carry on that debate. Interesting, also last night I went to the Sun's Who Cares Win Awards, and on my table was the vaccine team from Oxford, AstraZeneca. There they all are. I mean, wow. I don't often ask for selfies, but everyone was, even like Gary Lineker, everybody was queuing up for selfies with this amazing team. So if any of you are watching, you probably won't be. You'll be in a lab working on the next big thing, but thank you very much. Now then, former ISIS bride Shamima Begum gave an exclusive interview to Good Morning Britain today, asking to return home. Now, when she was interviewed back in 2019 and asked about the Manchester terror attacks, this is what she said.
Some of the kids from Manchester who were killed in the Manchester arena, you must have heard about that attack. What did you think about that?
I was shocked, but...
What?
But I just couldn't... Their justification was that it was retaliation, so I thought, OK, that is a fair justification.
And looking very different, this is what she just said a few hours ago.
I am asking the British people to forgive me because I made a mistake at a very young age. Honestly, the only crime I think I committed was being dumb enough to come to ISIS. If ISIS were to come back now, if they were to come to the gates right now and say who wants to join us, and whoever doesn't join us will kill them, I would rather die. You are clearly struggling with extremism and terrorism in your country, and I want to help with that, with like giving my own telling you my own experience with these extremists and like what they say and how they persuade people to do what they do and to come to places like Syria.
So, Kelly, she looks very different. She's speaking very differently. Should we forgive her?
I think it's a really difficult decision for anybody to make. My concerns is that the British public have witnessed terrorists being imprisoned, so-called reformed, gone through the system and released and reoffended, and we've had children lose their lives at a concert. And so we have witnessed that. We've seen this so-called systematic change that's supposed to happen, but it hasn't. It's still ended in dire consequences with loss of life. So for me, it's about the integration. If she comes back, and if she does, if the British government decide that she is allowed back, how are we going to trust them to have some kind of system that reforms her with no risk? Is that even possible when our own criminal justice system has failed and done that and hasn't been able to be successful as that? So for me, my concern is integration. How is that going to be possible? And will we trust our UK government to do so?
I know a lot of people watching will agree with you, and some will have even more extreme views, which is, that she made her bed and she needs to lie in it. But Janet, where are you on this?
I think, and I've said it all along, that she was a child when she left Britain. She was a child when she married, and she married someone who was chosen for her, and she has lost 3 children in relatively quick succession. She was groomed by ISIS, and if a child is groomed, and you have to, I think you have to understand the pressures that were on her. I'm not asking for sympathy for her now, but I can find it in my heart to forgive her, but I can see that bringing her back to England poses all sorts of problems. But I think that in the end, we ought to be able to use her experiences to show other young people what her experiences have done to her, both mentally, how they shaped her life, and the journey that she's been on.
It'd be very difficult for her, but do you not think also to come back? Would she have to sort of enter the witness protection program?
Yeah, at the moment, the Supreme Court has denied her the right to ask for her British citizenship back. So there would have to be an enormous backtracking on the part of the government.
But can we trust that decision? I know you're saying that you would like her to be able to assist. She's even said, I'd like to be able to assist the government to make changes in terrorism, to understand terrorism. But can we trust her?
But isn't it better to bring her back rather than to leave her there, and then she'll become the poster girl for people, potential terrorists in this country who will see her treatment as inhuman.
I mean, she is saying she's happy to come back and have a trial, as she said, as long as it's a fair trial, and go to jail if that is the decision. What about you, Judy?
When I was watching that video, remembering how, she looked when she first saw the video, to me, as, my previous role as a social worker, I think the first thing what comes to your mind is that she has been groomed and she's a child, and that the acts that has taken place in that time will be governed by her age and her circumstances and so on. I think the sad thing, obviously, it's gone on for so long, and, it heightens the reality of division, even within this country. I think something that Janet just said was really, really definitely just struck me, that her staying over there, will that make other people who possibly might be groomed as well feel like, yeah, we are outcasted, we are, maybe we should, and that's the worry. I think the issue is of her coming back, it's about rehabilitation. How will she be rehabilitated? Is there enough resources? Is there enough work? But I think either way, the reality, a lot of people in the UK, you have to go by, people will make a decision by the trauma they have seen or lived. And a lot of people in the UK, the trauma that we have seen is losing loved ones, and as a community, as a country, being absolutely heartbroken by terrorism.
Yeah.
So their decision will be mainly on that. Yeah. And it's a sad case either way, because it always evokes the emotion of loss.
Yeah.
And she's going for it.
I mean, she's definitely a political hot potato, isn't she? I mean, there are ISIS brides that have actually just come back to this country very quietly, but of course, as you say, she's
because
a poster girl for all the wrong reasons.
Because the Times interview exposed her in a way it didn't expose the other young girls who had been in that situation, some of whom have come back.
Yeah. Well, obviously, a lot of our viewers, we've had significant comments on this, but Vivian Hick, no, she doesn't deserve to come back, wouldn't be trusted. Karen Morby, did anyone see any remorse? I think she's saying what she needs to say to get her own way. Emily Carpenter, I know I'll get so much hate for this, but she should already be in this country. She was groomed, and Anne Logan agrees with that comment as well. So, obviously, we'll be talking about Shamima Begum for a long while to come. Now, still to come, Judy's Strictly Makeover. Also, Sally Lindsay is here, and... We've all felt the fear when the checkout assistant is scanning your items too fast. Oh my gosh, it's making me feel stressed.
Yeah.
Well, one man has solved that problem with a very clever hack, but some shoppers aren't very happy. Find out why after this.
I can actually do the splits and a cartwheel, a backflip and everything. I don't know why, but I still can. So are we ready?
Yeah.
Look at that! I don't know why.
What about you, Janet? I failed at yoga twice, but it's not that hard. Look.
Welcome back. That's former loose woman Sally Lindsay 10 years ago. We'll catch up with her in about 15 minutes. But first, I know a couple of birds who can surely do the splits. It's the £1 million decision with our Linda Robson and Leslie Joseph, and they're in Leicester for us today. Hi, Linda. What you up to?
Hello, girls. Well, I'd just like to thank everybody here in Leicester for turning up for our £1 million giveaway. Olivia getting very excited. It's a £1 million giveaway and it's our biggest prize ever. Now, are you ready, Miss
I am,
Davis?
but I think I've overdressed. No change there. Then, right, Christian, do you have a dance routine
Yes,
for
for
us?
today we have a merengue.
Whoa, show me your tough moves.
It's going to go ta, 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 all around. Yes, are we ready?
Yeah,
Let's
okay,
go then. To the side, ra, ta, ta, to the side. In front.
Well, while they're practicing, let me just
we walk. Hey,
you can take £1 million in one go, or you can take £10,000 a month for the next 10 years. The decision is yours. Now, here are the details. Thank you, Olivia.
For your chance to make that £1 million decision, text cash to 82248. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 782248. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to CD 37 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 22nd of October at 4 p.m. Good luck.
Thanks, ladies. Now, the speed of the checkout assistants in some budget supermarkets could seriously qualify as an Olympic sport. But one tactical customer has come up with a hack to help. Now, he puts his pop-up grocery bags onto the checkout, meaning that the cashier has to put the items in it. What do you reckon for that, Janet?
I think they're live. The checkout personnel have a bad enough time to start off with. They're set targets that they have to whiz through, and if they lose, if they don't maintain those targets, they're demoted. And I think it's a really, really stressful job, and they're not paid enough. My sister was on a checkout in a major supermarket for 20 years, so I've heard all her complaints about it over the years. I can't cope with, like, that fast thing. It's stressful. So you've got a choice of two stresses. The speed thing, which you fail at, and then the self-checkout, which you will fail at in 20 seconds because you bought a bottle of wine and your age, even if you look like me, has got to be verified.
Well, listen, you say that, but a spokesperson from Aldi says our employees are trained to operate the checkout at the right pace for each individual person they serve.
Wow.
Yeah. But do you get a bit stressed, Jude?
Do you know what? I don't really get that stress, actually. I'm trying to be a better packer, if that's even the word, someone that packs their shopping. But I just remember the only time I got a bit funny was when, I think it was Aldi's that you used to go to, and they never used to scan it. They just type in the item, how much the price is. And I used to be like, babes, slow down. I need to make sure you're putting in the right amount because I'm on a £40 budget, OK? And I don't want you going over that and telling me it's £57. But they used to do it so fast.
Oh, then you'd be one of those women that took items out and made a giant...
You know what? I'm going to say how it is and don't feel no shame. Yeah, I have done that several times. I've bought things and been like, oh, can you take it off? How much is it? Can you take it off? Or I've been one of those ones where I'm watching the till as it comes in and I'm like, I'm at the budget, take it off.
Have you been one of those ones that drives me mad, that when you get there, you sort of go, oh, I've forgotten to buy sugar, and then we're all queuing while they go running off to the back of the supermarket.
Jane, if you know me well...
If I've forgotten something, I go, manager, would you mind giving me a packet?
Good luck finding a manager.
Do you know what I do? I use the kids. I'm like, go and get mummy some of that, will you?
That's their fitness training. What about you, Kelly?
Well, you know, unfortunately for me, I have been that shopper with a disability. So if I'm, you know, if I'm in a... Especially in the winter, I get rigor in my fingers, which means I can't really bend them and function as I'd like to. And so, like, you know, everything is really difficult, whether that's taking my, you know, my card out of my wallet or packing. Sometimes I'm having to do it this way.
Tell people when they give you an unpleasant look? If you've got someone like me about doing that sighing.
Yeah, unfortunately, you do get people behind you sort of sighing and tutting and nodding. And you know, I used to get to the point where I'd write on the card, you know, if my speech wasn't particularly good that day, and I'd just say, look, I'm really sorry. Apologise to the person behind me, apologise to the checkout person. I'm sorry, but this is going to take me a little bit longer.
It's that thing, though, sorry, it's that thing you said about patience. What you saying about... What was you saying about having patience?
It was just about being patient because you don't know what that person is dealing with.
But Kelly, isn't the answer to have graded queues? Chat queue, that can have a big set of JSP teeth above it. Chatty queue. Quick queue.
I've got the chatty queue.
There you go. Janet solved the problem. There you go, right there. All right, well, coming up, former loose woman, actress Sally Lindsay is back on the show for the first time in 7 years. We've got loads to talk about with her, including the heartbreaking reason she's taking on a new challenge. And talking of new challenges, our Judy is revealing all about her saucy Strictly makeover. Oh, yes, that is straight after this. Tomorrow, the award-winning actress and EastEnders legend Lacey Turner joins Loose Women to talk about her much-anticipated return to Walford following the birth of her baby boy, Trilby.
I still can't believe I have a boy.
And revealing what's next for Stacey Slater since being sent to the slammer. Lacey Turner, tomorrow at 12:30. Welcome back to your Wednesday Loose Women. Now, keeping you company for the next half an hour, it's Judy Love, Kelly Bryan and Janet Street Porter. Still ahead, is it empowering? Yes, one of the cameramen's just fallen over. Sorry about that. Is it empowering for women to go to male strip shows? Well, we've got a little surprise for Janet. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, feel the fear. And the girls who did a TikTok dance at their mum's funeral. Is it crass or is it cool? But talking of dancing, first of all, it's the last time we're going to see Judy before the Strictly launch on Saturday. Oh, yeah.
So hear the music.
Straight away. And she's had her makeover done. Let's check out this sexy mother. Look at that.
Is
so
that
come
you?
on.
I don't know.
Dish the goss.
I mean, obviously, it's such an amazing thing to be involved in, but my gosh, by the end of it, I'm going to be so intimate with some of the people on set. It's unbelievable. I'm not talking about my partner, I'm talking about the production team. What they do, the stuff that they do is unbelievable. So I had to go in and get measured. And, you know, as a plus-size woman, obviously I was a bit nervous. I've got that character, but I was still a bit nervous of how they're going to fit me and shape me into stuff. But they measure you, and the measurements that they would do. I mean, I've never been measured. So, I mean, they measured my vagina, you might as well say. Yeah? Like, literally...
What is your outfit going to be like?
I don't know, babes. But they they measure like from your belly button all the way round through to the back to your back.
Those are vital statistics.
I mean, because some of the stuff is quite leotard, isn't it? And they want to make sure it holds you in and sucks you in.
So, like, proper tailoring?
I've never experienced anything like that in my life. And these women are amazing. Like, I had the dress on, and then there was bits that needed, like, fixing, and they did it on my body. So, I mean, proper tailor-made to my shape. And it's really, really...
And are you feeling the burn yet?
Oh, of course I'm feeling the burn.
Let's have a little look at Judy walking into the show today.
Oh, bless her.
You know how all my feet, my joints, my muscles, every part of me here is hurting me. It's but
fingertips.
It's fingertips, but it's an amazing feeling. You know, I never would experience anything like this.
Have you had any tears yet?
No tears yet, but I'm sure I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
But I have sweat, though.
Well, listen, we're going to wish you all luck and love for your first show. You're going to be amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right, now then, she called time on Corrie back in 2006 and went to war with her old sparring partner, Janet, when she was a loose woman. And she's gone on to star in loads of top TV shows, including Mount Pleasant and Still Open All Hours. Making a welcome return to the show, it's actress and writer Sally Lindsay. Hello!
Hey guys, how are you?
Oh, how nice to see your smiling face.
We were never sparring partners. Me and Janet used to get on really well. Janet was at my wedding.
I know, they've made us out to be enemies, but actually we've got on really, really well. We agreed on more things than, you know, I was surprised.
But do you think she's mellowed a bit over the years, Sally?
I don't think Janet ever will mellow, to be honest. I don't think she ever should.
Very good point, very good point. Now, first of all, before we get on to other stuff like your TV work, I just wanted to talk to you about the Memory Walk in aid of Alzheimer's Society, and you have a very special reason for doing that, don't you? So could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I'm one of the ambassadors for the Alzheimer's Society, and I'm supporting the society for 21 years now. So back in my Coronation Street days, they asked me to be a patron, and then I've just been working with them ever since because my darling Gran Ellen died of this disease many, many years ago when I was 18. There she is. We're very similar looking, actually. And she was wonderful, and she got it when she was 65, if you can believe it, and she died when she was 70. And I've always been, you know, it's a wonderful thing for me to work for the society because it sort of keeps her alive. And the landscape of the Alzheimer's sort of world now, and the knowledge and the profile of it is immeasurably different to when Gran was dying, when we didn't really know what it was. I mean, she was sort of one of the first people, I think, diagnosed in the country with this disease, and nobody really understood. So we've come absolutely leaps and bounds since then. And the Memory Walk is something we do every year. And we didn't last year. We walked with our dogs last year, and we walked in the park last year on our own because of the pandemic. But this is the year we're getting back together. And it's this amazing days around the country where people who are either got family members of suffering Alzheimer's, people with Alzheimer's, and we all get together and we do this walk. It's nothing really about fitness. Anybody can do it. You can do a short one or a long one, but it's just getting together, and you walk for who you love and the person that you love who's got it or is suffering from it. And it's so empowering because everybody gets together and they talk to each other about this very unique disease and how they can help each other. Oh, this tip is good, or have you tried this? Have you done this? And also we can cry as well together about the people that we've lost and how horrible it was, and then how wonderful they were before they got the disease. It's just such a wonderful, magical day for me. So it's a real highlight of the calendar for me.
Sally, I want to, sorry to interrupt you.
No, please.
Sally, I just want to ask you about the moment. I know that your darling Gran was very close to you and used to do loads of long walks together. And since I've worked on this show, you know, over the last 10 years, so many people on the show that I've worked with have had close, you know, their close family and friends have had dementia or Alzheimer's. But there was a key moment for you, wasn't there, when you realised your Gran, things were not right?
we used to walk, like you said, Janet, everywhere together. And she used to bake cakes and walk to the old people's home, she called it, you know, even though she's probably the same age. And at the time, and I remember there's a huge road in Gorton where I'm from, and it's an artery road that goes through to Manchester, in East Manchester, Gorton. And she walked across it and she just stopped dead in the middle of the road. And she didn't know where she was or what she was doing. And I was about 13, I think, 14 at the time. And I literally just turned around and she was grabbed her off the side, and she was shaken and she started crying. Now, there's two things my gran didn't do, not that this isn't, but she never cried, really. She was always terribly down to earth, very, very, very strong. And she was like a wreck. And I remember thinking, wow, something's really, really wrong with Gran, because she was always the one that kept her head, you know, when everybody else was around, was losing theirs. And that was the day that I personally realised. And my mum thought she might be suffering from depression, because the early onset Alzheimer's is quite a similar quite a similar symptom, sorry. And obviously that wasn't to be, it was Alzheimer's. But yeah, that was the time that petrified me, that I thought the world is never going to be the same again.
Sally, you know, this is something very close to my heart. I lost my mum with dementia 12 years ago, and I heard about Memory Walk a couple of years back, and I think what you said in regards to people coming together is really important, because it's the heartbreak is almost losing this person before they're physically gone. So you lose all that connection, the smile, the laughter, the joy of who they are. And one of my things I struggled with, like you say, never really knew what this dementia was, is as a carer how to cope with it. What kind of mechanisms, or who did you speak to, or what kind of support would you advise people to get if you are the loved one that's caring for someone with dementia?
This is Judy, honestly, that's exactly what it's about. It's like suffering two deaths, isn't it? Yeah. It's like the death of them first time, and then their actual death, because they've gone. Their memories. It's so evil because it takes away your memories, and all we are is our memories and what we've done. But what I would advise is that why the society is so wonderful is because it's on the other end of a phone, and you can call them up and you can ask for advice. And that's the main thing, that there is somebody out there on the end of the phone that you can talk to, who says, look, I need this respite care, or I need advice on this. And sometimes it's very difficult to get people diagnosed as well, because obviously the person just doesn't really accept that it's happening to them. They just feel they're a bit down, or it's not. And that's the big challenge, and we can help you with that as well. It's such an amazing society to answer all those questions. You know, the phone number is obviously going to be on your website, but if you've got any problems, anybody in your situation, apart from what do I do, I'm drowning here, we can help.
Well, Sally, it's a great cause, as you say, and there are 850,000 people in Britain living with some form of dementia, and that figure's set to go up to 1 million by 2025.
It's a tsunami, Jane. It's a tsunami. It really is.
Yeah.
It
And
really
we've run out of time, and we had so much more we wanted to talk to you about. So good luck with Madame Blanc. But please, maybe come back and talk to us another time about all of that.
Yes, I will, definitely. Sorry, it's me going on again, isn't it? That's why I was a loose woman.
Oh. It's so nice to see you. You take care, and good luck with the memory walk.
Thank you so much.
OK, lots more to come as male strip shows sell out across the UK. Are they empowering to women? And yes, we've got a surprise for Janet. Oh yeah, don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Now, in a moment, TikToks at funerals and male strippers. Yes, only on Loose Women. But first, our biggest competition ever. Would you take $1 million in one go, or £10,000 a month for 10 years? Linda and Leslie are back in Leicester with the details.
Welcome back to Leicester, where we are celebrating our £1 million giveaway. It's our biggest prize giving ever. Woo! And we've been practicing our dancing all morning, haven't we, Les?
I'm as ready as I will ever be, Linda. Christian, are you ready?
I am ready. The crowd is ready. Les is fab. Linda, working progress.
Oh, you wait.
Come on, Leicester. Let's do this.
And we go to the side. Ready? Hey, let's go. Hey, to the right. Hey, we go in front. Show me how it's done. Mueve la cintura. Hey, to the right. Hey, woo! Hey, and in front. Linda, you ready? Give me a shake.
I'm ready, I'm trying.
Oh, there it is. One
Right,
more.
you carry on while I tell everyone what's happening. So would you take £1 million in one go, or would you take £10,000 for the next 10 years? So this is our details. Here's our details. They're coming up next.
For your chance to make that £1 million decision, text cash to 82248. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 782248. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to CD 37 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 22nd of October at 4 p.m. Good luck.
I mean, honestly, didn't it look like Doreen had my dress on from Strictly?
Yeah, she's got a neck to it.
I think she's stolen it. We'll have to get that back for Saturday. Oh, right, here we go. Now then, two sisters are facing some TikTok backlash after posing a video dancing at their mother's funeral. The girls took part in the viral dance trend in front of their mum's open casket. They said it was a bit of fun before they mourned their mum, but others didn't agree. What do you think, Janet?
I can see some people might find it disrespectful, but at the end of the day, she was their mum and it was their choice. And I wish that funerals were joyful occasions instead of being, miserable and awful. You want to remember all the best things about your relationship with the person that died. I don't have a problem with it.
But do you think the issue that people have is not just that it's joyful, but that they've actually posted it on social media? Do you think that's the problem?
I hope they're prepared for the backlash, because there will be one. But, it's their life. I'm quite relaxed about it.
Kelly?
Well, for me, we'd probably be accused of something similar. I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, the casket wasn't open, but for my nana, when she passed, she wanted it to be a celebration. We all wore white, we were all dancing, we were all singing. All of the songs played at the service were worshipful, were celebratory. It really was a celebration of her life rather than, a solemn, sombre moment. She wanted to be remembered as the vibrant, colourful character that she was. And so we did it in that way, and we did it in the way that she would want it done. She left really specific, she even left, it was a voice note, and I recorded it because I didn't want to miss that moment. So I recorded what she wanted for her passing, and so we just honoured her wishes.
Oh, God, that sounds so good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to have a funeral. I'd written off my funeral.
No, babes.
When I go, just incinerate me, chuck me in the Thames, but I might get you two on the
Neil
planet.
Kelly to organise it, babes. For me personally, black funerals, West Indian funerals, African funerals, whatever way you want to put it, it is a celebration. You got to cry hard, eat hard, drink hard, dance hard. There's different aspects. There's people that might be Christian and maybe want to be a bit more refined in things that they want to do, like, alcohol. But it is about celebrating someone's life. Personally, I think, if you look at the video, the girls look quite young as well. That has to be taken into account. TikTok and all those kind of things is massive at the moment. The only issue is, once you put things on social media, like you said, you're open to criticism. Hey, it's their mother, rest her soul. Yeah. It's their family. If that's their way they want to grieve, because, after funerals when it's really hard, then let them do what they want to do. We're too up in people's business.
Hear, hear.
Yeah, here.
Right, male stripping troupe, the Dream Boys, are experiencing a rise in bookings.
No.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, baby.
Post-pandemic, and they're proving a popular place to go for a divorce party, apparently. One woman who went to see the boys in action said, like the rest of the ladies here, I feel empowered. Oh, right.
No,
so,
you really fan it yourself.
is that empowering to women, Jude?
Do you know what? I don't know about going to the strippers and empowering, but, you know, if you're having a celebration that you're now a new free woman and you've got rid of that man or woman or they that was causing you a problem, then so be it. Celebrate that. I don't know for me if going to strippers is empowering, but, hey, I've hosted a few, and can I say, you women go on wild. Let's keep it real. I mean, I've been to one that I've hosted, and, you know, I went with a friend, and he was doing hosting as well, and the women were just grabbing him, and he was like, I'm not a stripper, and they were like, I don't care at this moment. I personally think that there's a lot of people out there that's not having enough sex and love-making and embracing their physical being, so when they go to these kind of places, they just go wild. That's what I personally think.
If it was the other way round,
yeah, obviously.
it'd be assault.
Yeah, definitely. We need to come. I'm saying we like I was involved.
It's a bit of a new twist, though, isn't it? The whole fact that you go to celebrate your divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've had a few.
Well.
I've never celebrated my divorces with male strippers.
I think I know the answer to this, but where do you stand on going to see male strippers?
Oh, God. 20 years ago, I wrote a piece about male strippers in Australia when the Dream Boys started in Australia, and I went to this cattle town, and it was like going into a war zone. All these farmers' wives were... You know, they all had beer lined up, they were throwing their pants at the guys. The guys had to have bodyguards around them. There was, like, physical... You know, it was a frenzy, a feeding frenzy.
Well, hold that thought, Janet, because we thought we'd do a little surprise for you. Are you ready?
No. No!
I'm ready. We're winding you up. We're winding you up, Janet.
What do you mean?
Yeah, we are. I'm afraid no. It's a daytime show. It's not the nighttime loose women just...
Daytime, nighttime, anytime is good for me.
Well, Kelly, I was going to ask where you stand on male strippers, but I think I can see by your
lying
stance.
down, ready to go.
You don't think that going to see a man take his clothes off is objectifying him and demeaning him? I mean, we sit here and we pontificate about women doing the same thing, but somehow if men do it...
That's their choice.
They train hard, they work hard, they do choreography, they audition for the job
if women...
to do that. So, no,
loads of women are
bring
slinging
it
their
on.
underwear at the male strippers,
And
just
they
as
love
they did
it.
to Tom Jones and all those entertainers 35 years ago. We don't seem to have come a long way, do we?
I'm just going to go and check him out. Hang on, won't be a minute.
Look, I just think you just got to do you, boo-boo. Listen, if you want to go to that place and celebrate your breakup, your divorce, or maybe just do it with your friends. You know it's like when you break up with somebody, you want to feel empowered again. Everybody has their own personal way and journey how they feel empowered or experience a new emotion or event. If that's what you want to do, that's what you do. But, girls, please slow down on the squeezing and touching because, yes, if it was us, we wouldn't like it.
OK, so that's 3 tickets for you, me and Kelly next week.
Let's go.
OK, well, there you go. That's it for today. Kay's back tomorrow, and EastEnders Lacey Turner talks returning to the square after having her new baby boy. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you then. Bye.